am Linda Despain. I am a faculty member with Practice Management Institute. I am a certified medical compliance officer, a certified medical insurance specialist, certified medical coder, a certified medical office manager. I'm also board certified through the American College of Medical Practice Executives. I have been working with Practice Management Institute for a little over 9 years, and I am very excited about the opportunity to talk about the Certified Medical Office Manager certification course that we're teaching. So if you're already an office manager, it's very important to get this credential because in my personal experience and my observation, so many office managers have been promoted from within, and so many times an employee comes into a practice and is hired and is an outstanding, absolute star employee and works with the practice, has loyalty and longevity, and is promoted from within. And promoted based on job capability and abilities, but really does not get the education that they need to run a multi-million-dollar practice that is heavily regulated with government regulations and also very challenging revenue opportunities. So very important that a medical office manager is highly trained and highly educated in different areas of financial management, human resources, managed care contracts, in order to be able to fully manage a medical practice and to help in these very challenging times. So how do you get your doctor to buy into this course? It's very important to educate the physicians on what is learned in this class. Because so many doctors nowadays are trying to run the practice themselves, or they ask a spouse to come in and help. The spouse didn't necessarily sign up to help manage the practice. And so this is an important duty that can be taken off of a physician or spouse of a physician or family member and kept in-house. So this is how we communicate this to the doctor of the importance of taking this course. Okay, so if you have worked in a medical practice for a very short time and you're looking to advance into a management role in the medical practice, my advice to you would be to start cross-training into other areas of the practice so that you have a full understanding of the billing department, the collection department, the human resource department, understanding the important tasks to be performed at the front desk, understand compliance. So learn as much as you can in the practice, and then look into further education. Now, of course, I'm a big fan of Practice Management Institute, but I can tell you that we have a product called Total Access, and Total Access does allow 24-hour a day, 365 days a year access to a library chock full of information from A to Z in healthcare management, compliance, collections, billing, coding, you name it, from all practice industry professionals and executives with practice experience. Then what I would do is I would go and talk to my boss, the provider of the practice perhaps, and I would tell my provider the absolute truth that indeed if you are planning on being a lifer in that practice and you really want to stay at that practice and you want to grow, I would go back to that doctor and negotiate, use some negotiation tactics, and let that physician know that you truly, honestly want to be there and help that practice, and you plan to be there for several years, and see if you can talk that doctor into investing in you. Now, the challenge that we run into is so many doctors in the past have invested in employees that leave shortly after that investment and go work for their competitor. So doctors have been a little burnt out on investing in staff members. So I would negotiate and I would ask that doctor, if I stay for a year, either I'll pay for the course and you reimburse me or bonus it back to me, the cost of the course, or How about you pay for it? And if I choose to leave, or you choose for me to leave prior to a year, then you can deduct that from my final paycheck. But either way, I do want to be here, and I can prove my loyalty to you and stay for a year. Education is power, and it's the only way that you're going to be able to be successful in the corporate world or in any type of a medical practice. You're going to need those certifications. You're going to need that experience. In my opinion, most of the students struggle the most with the financial management piece of the Certified Medical Office Manager course. And the reason why is that in most practices, a lot of the employees have been promoted from a receptionist or supervisor into the medical office manager role. And they have not actually been responsible for paying bills or for balancing the bank statement. Many times the doctor does that, or it's outsourced to a bookkeeper or a CPA. And so therefore, the medical office manager has really never even seen a profit and loss statement, or has been responsible for running any type of report and working with the CPA to be able to read a report and to know what is indicative of what the report is stating. We give some very challenging financial equations for our participants to learn, such as fixed expenses, variable expenses, direct expenses, learning how to crunch numbers to be able to calculate overhead ratio, and then to be able to understand what an overhead ratio is, what it means, if it's a good thing or bad thing. And so a lot of this is really new to these participants, or it has been decades since a participant has been at college and forgets how to study and how to retain. And so the financials is probably, in my opinion, the most challenging part of the CMOM course. I have been teaching this course for almost 10 years, and in my experience, when it comes to the exam, from day one, we try to alleviate any anxiety about the exam. We talk about the exam. We also actually give a sample exam on day one for our students to take home for homework, and to take a sample exam. This helps them to identify where their strengths are, where they have opportunities to study harder, to ask more questions, or to go back and to do their homework numerous times to get that information. So when it comes to studying, what we do to help our students is we give them homework assignments. They have quizzes at the end of every chapter. What is very exciting is after 9.5 years of just about of doing this, I still see some of the same students that I had back from 10 years ago, and they share with me how they have grown in their career and where they are now. And I have some of my students that have been receptionists, billers. They're now administrators of very large practices, very successful, doing very well. So it is very exciting to see my students and how they use this information. Many times they do come to our national conferences, and we have great networking and gathering of different tracks for management and coding, and we see these individuals that have numerous success stories. So very exciting.